Entrepreneur sales. Hey, welcome back to the channel, everyone. I wanted to make this video because a lot of people think sales is about going over products when actually it's really all about solving problems at the end of the day. And I want you to know, make sure you like and subscribe. This channel is dedicated to the study of sales, leadership, psychology, communication, and business. Every lesson is built from first principles because understanding why something works will always outperform memorizing what to say. So let's jump into today's lesson. Let's have some fun. I want to say this. I want to start with this. One of the biggest misconceptions in sales is that we feel like as salespeople, I got to explain my product, right? Actually, that's not what's going on. You just need to get in there and solve problems, right? I'd rather be a professional than a presenter. Okay, and part of being a professional is actually getting on the phone and solving problems and helping this prospect. Think about most salespeople, right? You guys study features, pricing, programs, financing, like silly objection responses. And yes, I teach them because you have to know what to say. But anyways, closing techniques, and even that's silly. Like you need a closing technique, that's ridiculous. How about you solve a problem for someone, right? You help them create a better life by using your product or using your service. You see, none of them answer the most important question, though. It's what problem are you solving? So remember, it's not about features and benefits and none of that silly stuff. It's about actually solving a problem, and nothing else matters. So let's drop down to Module 1, all right? Entitled Module 1, The Market Doesn't Reward Information, It Rewards Judgment. Guys, there was a time when information itself had value, right? Like 40, 50, 60 years ago. If you knew something your prospect didn't know, you had a giant advantage, huge advantage, big one, big time, right? But that world doesn't exist anymore. Your prospect, are you kidding me? They're Googling you, they're reading reviews, they're watching demonstrations, using AI. So, which means that information, that is no longer the competitive advantage. So you got to get away from product dumping all over the place on top of these people, right? Judgment is. You see, people don't seek professionals because professionals possess information. They seek professionals because professionals know how to interpret the information. A CPA is invaluable because they know the tax code, right? They're valuable because they know how the tax code applies to a specific situation. Right? Think of an attorney. They're valuable because they know which laws actually matter. A business consultant isn't valuable because they've read more books. They're valuable because they can actually evaluate a business problem and recommend an intelligent course of action. So sales operates under the exact same principle. Your value isn't measured by what you know. It's measured by the quality of your judgment. All right? Let's hop down to Module 2. And it's titled, Products Are Rarely the Reason People Buy. One of the biggest mistakes in sales is believing people buy products. They don't. They buy outcomes, guys. Really, realistically, think about this, okay? Do you think people wake up in the morning hoping to purchase an accounting education? Absolutely not. No. Nobody dreams about buying your bookkeeping services, okay? Nobody gets excited about a software. They're simply mechanisms, okay? People buy what those mechanisms make possible. A business owner doesn't want bookkeeping. They want reliable financial information so they can make better business decisions. You have to look at it like this. In terms of a tax education, they don't wake up wanting a tax education. They want another source of income, more financial independence, greater control over their future. The product simply becomes the vehicle. The destination is always the outcome. When salespeople become obsessed with presenting the vehicle, they forget to discuss where the prospect is trying to go, right? You get so obsessed with the wheels and the tires and the nuts and the bolts that you forget why they even want this in the first place, okay? So you got to get away from info dumping and product dumping. So let's drop down to Module 3. Hey, and listen, in Module 3, this is big time stuff. You need to be paying attention. In Module 3, professionals diagnose before they recommend. Hey, every respected profession follows the same sequence. They don't recommend first, they diagnose first. You got to wake up. You got to start diagnosing. Imagine walking into a physician's office, right? Before you finish describing your symptoms, the physician immediately recommends surgery. You'd question their competence, not because surgery is wrong, because the recommendation came way before the understanding. And sales should follow the same discipline. The recommendation should be a conclusion, not an assumption. So you got to get in there and diagnose before you prescribe. The best salespeople spend far more time understanding the structure of the problem than presenting the structure of the solution, because recommendations have credibility only when they're built upon understanding. All right, write that down. Recommendations have credibility only when they're built upon understanding. So drop down to module 4 here. Module 4. Hey, every problem has multiple layers. Every problem has multiple layers. And for me, I feel like this is where professional selling begins. Most prospects describe symptoms, not causes. Someone says, hey, I need more clients. Do they? Maybe. Or maybe they have a positioning problem, right? A follow-up problem, a pricing problem, a referral problem, a conversion problem. Someone says, I need bookkeeping. Perhaps. Or perhaps what they actually need is visibility into their business so they can stop making decisions based on assumptions. The first problem you hear is almost never the problem you're solving. It's like you have to actually get in here with a good strategy. Recognize that your responsibility is to keep asking questions until you discover the problem beneath the problem, because that's actually where the value exists. Okay? Let's go over to Module 5. Stop measuring yourself. This is the title of Module 5. Stop measuring yourself by how well you explain. Okay? Stop measuring yourself by how well you explain. And I think this is one of the most damaging habits in sales. Salespeople leave conversations thinking, I should have explained that better. Maybe, right? But maybe explanation wasn't the problem. Maybe you never fully understood the business issue in the first place. Maybe you solved the wrong problem. Maybe your recommendation wasn't connected strongly enough to the outcome that they actually cared about. It's like language matters, communication matters, but communication cannot compensate for a poor diagnosis. An incredible explanation of the wrong solution is still a wrong solution. The objective isn't becoming a better presenter. The objective is becoming a better thinker, because better thinking naturally produces better conversations. Okay? So let's go drop down to Module 6 here today. And hey, in Module 6, sales is applied judgment. Sales is applied judgment. Nathan, what does that mean? It means if someone asks me what sales actually is, I wouldn't define it as persuasion, I wouldn't define it as influence, and I certainly wouldn't define it as talking, okay? Sales is just applied judgment. It's the ability to evaluate incomplete information, recognize patterns, identify root causes, and recommend an appropriate course of action. That sounds much closer to consulting than traditional selling, and I believe that's exactly how professionals should approach this career. Because when prospects believe you genuinely improve their understanding of the situation, okay, the recommendation actually holds weight. It carries something. Not because you're more convincing or anything like that, but your judgment became valuable, and then you articulated that judgment in your assessment for the situation that you diagnosed, then you prescribed. So the next time you walk into a sales conversation, like, don't ask yourself, how am I going to explain this? Ask yourself, what problem am I trying to solve, right? That simple question changes everything. It changes the questions you ask. It changes how you listen. It changes what you recommend. It changes how the prospect experiences the conversation, right? So hopefully this video was helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe, and definitely check us out at Universal Accounting Center. We've been around almost 50 years, and we'll teach you how to build the premier accounting firm in your area.